In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You're advised that any views expressed by the hosts or their guests are not necessarily the views of Tug Entertainment or its partners.
Come with us on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real people and hear real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Ghost Chronicles Next Generation. I am Ron Kolick, your host, the gatekeeper to the realm of the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable, New England's own Van Helsing. That music, it is none other than a theme of Dark Shadows, a soap opera back when I was just a little kid. Anyways, with me I have a special co-host, Mr. Brian from the Collinwood Inn. Brian? Uh-oh. Looks like we don't have Brian. Okay. Anyways, we have a great show tonight. Also, he'll be on shortly. And Ann is away. She is up at the North Pole, so she will be calling in after the break, and we'll be drawing the name for the naughty list. For those who do know, a couple weeks ago, I think it was, I decided that there were a lot of naughty people in the world, and every year they get stiffed by the old man in red. So we at Ghost Chronicles Next Generation decided to, kind of help out and help these people who've been good deprived, So we ran a contest on our Facebook page, which is Ghost Chronicle Next Generation. You can join us, like us, pretend you like us, and all you had to do was go on and say, I was naughty, but I still want a present. And tonight, Ann will draw one of the names of the lucky ones who did enter, and we will have it. But anyways, I guess with us now is Brian from the Collinwood Inn.
Good evening, Mr. Kolick. How are you tonight?
We lost you there. What was that?
I don't know. It must have been the curse of the Collinwood family.
I love that. I saw that in the chat room. In fact, you can join us in the chat room, the TuneIn chat room. It's interesting. Was there a curse at the original Dark Shadows?
Well, let's see. Barnabas had a curse put on him to be a vampire until he was either cured or died. And then Quentin Collins had a curse put on him to be a werewolf. So, yeah, there was a number of curses throughout the show on the different characters.
It's kind of an interesting show. I mean, I grew up with it. I used to do part-time jobs and stuff, but when Dark Shadows came on, that was my break time. I would stop and actually go and watch that soap opera, basically. And Barnabas Collins, who was the main character in it, it's really interesting because he had so much to do and carried so much of it that eventually they added all these other characters just to take some of the load off him.
Yeah, that's what they did for poor old Jonathan. They gave him a break, and they brought David Selby in, who was Quentin Collins, and he really took a lot of the workload off of Jonathan Frid. And he also became one of the so-called sex symbols of the show, so things worked out well for him. He went on to, what was a nighttime soap opera he went on to? Falcon Crest or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Falcon Crest. I mean, I never watched it, but I do remember it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And you are the proprietor along with, you know, Brian, I don't know your last name. Imagine that.
It's Gray, Gray.
Oh,
really
yeah,
easy to remember.
I do know it, but, you know, I had one of those Anheuser moments, or Anhose, whatever. but yeah, so anyways, you are the proprietor along with Jerry, she is your wife, right?
Yes, she is.
You're right. And the Collinwood Inn, which is really what's the name of the real mansion?
It's the Farnham Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
The original owner was Stephen H. Farnham and his family. The house was built roughly 1863.
And you guys have turned it into a B&B. It is haunted. And the whole B&B theme is actually a Dark Shadows theme, isn't that correct?
Yes, it is. 4 of our rooms are all named after characters from the show. And we do whatever we can to make things as enjoyable in the Dark Shadows vein for people that come to stay as we possibly can.
Well, I have to ask, you guys don't actually dress up the parts, do you?
Not at the moment, no, but we have considered it.
You know, that's not a bad idea, actually, but anyways. And do you have a website that people can actually go and take a look at this place?
Yes, we do. It's Collinwood Inn. Just a second.
Gotcha.
The website.
I'm not the only one that gets stuck. Anyways, it's in Oneida, New York, and it really is a cool house. I've seen the photos of it, and let me see if I have the thing myself, which is...
Look, I asked my wife for the website, and she can't even give it to me either.
Oh, well. Anyways...
I believe it's collinwoodin.webs.com.
Anyway. So we actually have a guest on the show, and would you like to introduce him for us?
Are we talking about Marcus Zerwicki?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Marcus. He is the founding member of the New York State Paranormal Research, and he is also co-author of a new book by Linda Lee Mackin coming out soon called Ghost Hunting the Mohawk Valley.
Oh, cool. So why don't we bring him on the line? Marcus, you there?
I am.
Welcome to Ghost Chronicles Next Generation.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So have you, there's a new book out. It's called, once again, what's something of the Mohawk Valley. What's the name of that again, Brian?
Ghost Hunting the Mohawk Valley.
Ghost Hunting the Mohawk Valley. And how are you associated with this book?
Well, I'm co-founder of New York State Paranormal Research, and basically the book is based on research investigations we've done throughout the area. Linda Lee Mackin is actually the co-author with Black Cat Press, and she's the one that kind of masterminded the whole thing.
All right, and have you investigated the Farnham House before, or the Collinwood Inn?
We have. It was very interesting. We've gotten some great evidence out of there.
So why don't I let Brian take the lead on this, since I assume you were there, Brian?
Yeah, I think I was. I remember being here at that time of day when they were here.
Okay, so you... Go ahead.
Well, why don't we just give the people a little background information about you, Marcus? Like, how did you get started in interested in the paranormal?
I have to say that I've always been interested in it. Ever since I was younger, picking up books from Hans Holzer and going and watching John Zaffis, people of that nature. But me personally, I just found it interesting. I always figured there was life after death and something above the beyond and now.
So was there anything that ever happened when you were a child that really got you interested? Like, were you able to talk to spirits or see them, or something happened that just made it all click and said, hey, I'm really interested in that?
Not me personally. My partner, Kano, actually had a personal experience with family members who have passed away in his family. But me personally, no, I've just always felt like there was something out there, but I've never had anything personal actually happen to me.
Okay. Now, do you consider yourself a ghost hunter or a paranormal investigator?
That's a good question, actually.
I would actually consider myself a paranormal investigator.
Let me ask you,
ghost hunters.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, okay, you call yourself a paranormal investigator. What is the difference between a ghost hunter and a paranormal investigator?
Well, I speak for myself. I'm saying we do a lot of research before we go into a location, and afterwards we do about a month or two of research on a location. If we can get as much as possible, great. And then we go in and we use similar equipment to, I guess, a ghost hunter, but we don't just jump into anything.
All right. It's sort of, I think it's more of your philosophy than the true definition of the two.
Right. I mean, they're kind of coincide with each other. It's hard to say who a ghost hunter is and who a paranormal research investigator is.
I
guess it's all on.
Yeah, I think it's probably what you call yourself more than anything, or what other people call you. I guess that's what it comes down to.
Sure.
So anyways, go ahead, Brian. I interrupt you as usually I do.
Oh, that's no problem. I don't mind being interrupted. I'm married, remember?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I just got dirty looks for that one.
Yeah, that's all right. Good for you.
Now, how do your friends and family feel about you in investigating all the paranormal stuff that you do?
Well, they all support me, and they definitely support the group. I mean, there's been times where we've gone out of town and out of state overnight, and they get worried about that. But other than a few raised eyebrows when we first started doing it, I have to say that everybody supports me and supports Kano and definitely supports the group.
How long have you been doing it?
We started our group in 2004. Officially
relatively new then.
Definitely relatively new, but we've gone to a lot of places and done a lot of investigating here, and we've done a few places in Massachusetts, like the Lizzie Borden House.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been there. That's interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What other places? Any others in Massachusetts that I might know of?
We're actually getting ready to go to the Houghton Mansion in March.
Yeah, we were actually the first to investigate the Houghton Mansion for the Masons. There was an author, years ago, by the name of Sherry Riveras, and I think she is from New York, by the way, and she was writing a book, Haunted Massachusetts, and they wanted to include the Houghton Mansion in it, and the Masons said sure, but they wanted to check it out to make sure it was haunted, so they called us in years ago. But yeah, it's an awesome place, absolutely awesome place. You have a blast there. And of course,
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, Ghost Adventures were in there as well, so that was cool. So, have you investigated the Collinwood? I assume you have, right?
Yes, we did go into the Collinwood not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And I have to say we've gotten some great evidence out of there. One in particular piece of evidence I can remember is we were all in the attic, Brian, Jerry, myself, and my partner, Connell. And we were using the Ovilus. And we said we're going to turn it off now, and we realized by playing the audio back, we had audio recorders going, we heard a disembodied voice saying, "I know." So we thought that was pretty interesting.
Can I ask you this? Now, was it an EVP or was it, as you said, a disembodied voice?
Well, we did hear something while we were in the attic. I think Brian can agree to that, and I know Jerry heard it. But playing the audio recorder back, we did capture it on an EVP.
Mm-hmm. So that's... Well, I mean, you can capture on a recorder without being an EVP.
Right. Well, I mean, we heard it, and by playing the evidence back, we did.
Yeah. So in reality, it wasn't an EVP because an EVP is really a manifestation of the white noise on a recorder versus an audio which is actually recorded on a recorder. So in reality, it wasn't an EVP. That's kind of my pet peeve because a lot of people use the two interchangeably, and it really isn't that way, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'd have to lean on. Then it was a disembodied voice,
right?
More than anything.
Exactly. I mean, it's not your fault. It's just, and I wasn't putting fault actually. It's just that today, with so many shows on the TV and internet radio shows and so forth, there's a lot of not really good information going out there. In other words, information that is not necessarily true. So and then it gets repeated over and over again, and soon it becomes true. So, anyways, that's just my little soapbox. I'm sorry about that.
No,
so, Brian, save my butt here, will you, before I get in any more trouble?
Well, I can agree with you on some of the EVPs that you hear on shows because you really can't understand what they're saying if you close your eyes when they're replaying them and don't see what they say that it's supposed to be saying. And when you listen, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't sound anything like what they're saying on the show that this voice said.
Right. I mean, EVPs are really tricky. There are classes of them, which makes it difficult. A, B, and C, and D, they have now as well. And I think that's because of so many so many shows out there. The Class A, I mean, anybody, you just play it, and everybody hears it. They don't have to be told. And then a Class B is a little bit open to interpretation. So those are the ones that I really, anything else below that, I just like whatever. But those are the ones that I truly believe in. But the funny thing about it too is I've worked with I've had the honor to work with some really, really good EVP specialists. Mike Markowitz from Massachusetts, also Karen Marcy, whose work was used in white noise and also in the Ghost Whisperer. And I found out that they have this ear. And this is what they say, and that they'll hear something on there, and if I hear it, I'm not going to hear it. In other words, their ears seem to be tuned to this or whatever it is, and they hear this thing clear as day. It's like, we can't hear that? I mean, that's somehow that minority of the people that deal with EVPs all the time that really work, that they can hear just really, to me, it sounds like static, but yet they hear distinct voices. So can I say they're wrong or right? No, I just can't hear it, and I just say that, well, I'm sorry, I can't hear it. But, yeah, EVPs are, I think, totally misunderstood nowadays. And, in fact, the original EVPs, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomena, for those who don't know, it's actually a manifestation of the white noise on a recorder. So if you had 2 recorders in the same room and you got a voice on both of them, it wouldn't be a true EVP because the static would have to be manipulated on both of them, and which is not accepted as something that can be done. Doesn't mean it can't, but it's just not accepted. The American EVP, what they used to do is they used to go around with a video camera, and if they picked up any of the voices on a video camera, they would totally rule them out as EVPs. So, anyways, that's my little talk on EVPs.
And a very interesting talk it was.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Boring the hell out of everyone. But anyways, Marcus, you have been investigating since 2004. Is your team, do you consider a scientific-based team, and that word is thrown out a lot lately, or do you use spiritual methods as well?
We use a lot of the, I would call equipment, so I wouldn't say that we're spiritually based. We don't use a medium or a sensitive on any of our investigations. We use a lot of, I guess, the general equipment that most people use, EMF reader, audio recorders. We have used dowsing rods, digital cameras, security camera, and most importantly, our own bodies. Because, I guess that would be the most important tool you have.
That's very astute of you, actually, because most people actually discount our bodies, and we are the best ghost detector, if you want to use that term, parenthesis, that's out there. Our bodies seem to be more sensitive to spirit energy than any piece of equipment or that's around. So, that's very astute of you, I believe.
Other than that, besides doing research going in, and we don't discount any place being haunted or not haunted. You can go to a place 1,000 times and not capture any evidence. Go in there once and could be all kinds of activity happening. So we don't ever say a place is totally not haunted.
Right. So do you, is that one thing that you do? Do you declare a place haunted or not haunted?
We don't. We don't.
That's cool.
What we do is we come in and we'll go through, do an investigation. We'll write a report on anything we either captured or we felt. We definitely like to keep a good rapport with anybody that we speak to that either owns the location or is a caretaker. We give them the evidence, and we try and keep in touch with them. But we never say whether or not a place is haunted or not haunted. That's not really for us to say.
Okay. I agree the same way with you. So, Brian, let me ask you this, and you're my co-host, so you actually should be asking the questions, but that's okay. It's my show. How many times has the Farnwood House or the Collinwood Inn been investigated, and what do you think has been the most astute evidence that has been collected there?
Let's see if I can remember the exact number. We have been investigated 5 times. We have some interesting EVPs from in the attic that were not picked up by ear or anything until you listened to the recorder and played it back. I can't say the words that the one EVP said because it's not exactly allowed on air, but it was three spirits, 2 male and a female, one right after the other, all saying the not-so-kind words. It was a 4-letter word that began with an F, and then it ended with another 3-letter word that said you.
Okay, we can get that idea.
We've had pictures of, let me see, shadow people, like dark, shadowy masses that when we put them onto the computer to see if it was like a thumb or something that was in the way of the lens, we lightened the pictures up and you could actually see through these dark masses and see, like in one of them, you can see the chair right behind it. In another one that I got from the last investigation that was done here, you can actually see the banister handrail as this figure is going into one of the bedrooms.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And there's a lot of different things that have happened that we have pictures of some extremely strange pictures. We've had things happen in this house that were totally unreal. One of the things that happened was Jerry was looking up information on the computer about the original owner, Stephen Farnham.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting there late one night, and I just looked at her and I said, I don't think Mr. F really likes you looking up all this information on him, because it was some stuff we had found out about bank foreclosure on a mortgage that he had and some few other things and that. And she just kind of laughed it off. And then next thing we know, one of the light bulbs in the chandelier in the kitchen came flying out of the socket. The screw-in metal part was still in the chandelier. The bulb itself was like it was just ripped right out of the lamp itself, came flying down onto the floor, didn't break. It was still red and glowing and just spun around on the floor until it stopped.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I know that we're coming up the break. Marcus, you're going to hang around after the break for us, aren't you?
Definitely.
Okay, cool. Anyways, it's an interesting house, and I've gone on your website and looked at some of the rooms and everything else, so it's definitely a cool place. So anyways, we have to take a break right now. You are listening to Ghost Chronicles Next Generation with Ron Kolick and Brian Gray of the Collinwood Inn, and our special guest is Marcus Zawicki, and we'll be right back after the following messages here on TogiNet. And I understand there will be a call from Ann when we come back, so this should be interesting. We'll be right back.
Welcome to TogiNet, radio with a cutting edge.
Renowned and gifted psychic medium Sylvia Rossi explores the mysteries of this life, the afterlife, and the unseen world that surrounds us all. In the show called Make Contact with Sylvia Rossi, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central here on TogiNet. Sylvia Rossi with her special guests and other fellow psychics invite you to call in and make contact with the world beyond and get answers to your questions. Psychic medium Sylvia Rossi has been sharing her gift professionally for the last 17 years. Sylvia has made it her mission to help individuals and families understand their eternal connection to loved ones that have passed on, bringing relief and comfort to countless souls who have been touched by her gift. She's had the privilege of meeting and working with many psychologists who continue to recommend their clients to her when conventional methods have failed. Now it's your turn to make contact with host and psychic medium Sylvia Rossi. Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
You are listening to Ghost Chronicles Next Generation. Ann is not with us today, but I understand she will be joining us shortly. But anyways, my special guest today is Brian Gray from the Collinwood Inn in Oneida, New York. And our very special guest is Marcus Zawicki of which group, Marcus?
New York State Paranormal Research.
New York State Paranormal. Well, anyways, I do understand that we do have a phone call from Ann, so let's see what she has to say. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the North Pole is our little elf herself, the blonde bombshell, Ann Kerrigan. Hey, Ann.
Well, hey there, Ron. Here I am up with Santa Claus. We're going over the naughty list.
Right, because, he's not giving any gifts to anybody who's been naughty. You know that, right?
That's right. So I have to get it from the source.
Right, so we are actually taking up the slack, The old fat man doesn't want to give, we will.
That's right.
So we ran this contest on our Facebook page, which is?
Ghost Chronicles Next Generation.
Right, and all you had to do was go on and say you were naughty, and we took all the naughty, deprived people, and actually good deprived people, and we selected one of them to get a paranormal package of stuff.
And we had so many naughty people. I can't tell you.
Those must be
my heart.
Those must be my fans.
I think we had one nice person in there, but I still put her in the drawing.
You did? Oh, you're nicer than I am. That's why you're not in it. That's all right. Doesn't matter.
She was nice, but she still wants presents.
Oh, well.
So.
Tell her there's a Walmart down the street.
All right. All right.
Okay, so a little drum roll, right? You selected the name, right? And
I pulled this name out of the big box. Oh, stuff.
Bag, right? Big Santa bag?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Santa wouldn't let me use his bag for the naughty people. But anyways, and I chose, out of the naughty box, Amy Safor Felty.
Huh?
Yay!
Is that English?
Yes. No, it's not. What do you mean, is it English?
Did you speak English? Safor Fonte? What the hell is that?
You're terrible. Amy Safor. It could be Safori, but I think it's Safor.
Uh-huh.
And she is from the wonderful state of Pennsylvania.
Yay, Pennsylvania.
Beautiful, beautiful state. Love Pennsylvania.
So, Amy, do we have her address?
We will need to get Amy's address.
So she's going to have to message me, right?
Yes. Message Ron on Facebook, on our Ghost Chronicles page, and he'll get you the big box of stuff.
Can you message the Ghost Chronicle page? I don't think you can.
If not, they can message you
personally.
On your personal page, Ron Kolek.
Ronald
Kolek.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. Not to be confused with my half-witted son.
Oh. You should be on that naughty list.
I am. That's who I am. No, actually, I love my son. He knows it.
That's good.
Yeah, anyway. So, anyway, Amy, give us your name, and we'll send you this great box of stuff.
All right. And keep being naughty.
Yeah. What do you get? You get a personal greeting from you and I as well, right?
Yes. Yes, you're going to get your own personal naughty Christmas greeting from Ron and I.
Right. Ann's got a centerfold.
No. They'll never open it. Don't tell them that.
Okay, so this is running long. We got people on the line and yada, yada, yada. So we want to thank Amy for entering our naughty contest and all the other ones that did, too. We love our naughty people.
We do. Keep listening.
Right.
Keep listening. And listen, all you naughty people and all you nice people, too. Since I am not going to be able to be on the air the next couple weeks, well, we're on a little Christmas hiatus, but I want to wish all of you a very happy, healthy Christmas, whatever particular holiday you celebrate. If you don't celebrate, have a nice December 25th just the same. I love you all. Thanks for listening. Make my week every week.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, yeah. This is from one of our fans, by the way, who did post on our Facebook page. And it's from Becky Dean Sams Codner. Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it? Yeah. She says, I have been listening to your show on the podcast and must say I love it. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
That was really nice.
Yeah, we should have gave her the package.
No, too late. Amy gets it. Too late.
Yep. So anyways, and I want to wish you, personally, from Van Helsing, I want to wish the Blonde Bombshell a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I'll see you next year.
Thank you, and same to you, Ron. It's always a pleasure working with you, even though you give me such a hard time.
So you're lying again. Okay. Yeah. Put your gun on naughty list. Too late. All right. Thanks, Ann. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. And that was my partner of the Blonde Bombshell all the way from the North Pole, I guess. Anyway, sorry about that, guys.
Well, that's no problem. I'd like to say congratulations to Amy.
That's right.
Yes, congratulations, Amy.
She won the box of paranormal stuff, which is, a rare treat. We give these out every so often, which is a box full of stuff. So, anyways, you can't miss that. So, anyways, with us is Brian Gray from the Collingwood Ed and Marcus Wizicki. And, Marcus, what is the most interesting piece of evidence that you think you have collected in the years that you have been investigating?
I'd have to say the most interesting piece of evidence thus far is what we believe to be a full-body apparition from the Rolling Hills Asylum in East Bethany, New York.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And male, female?
I want to say it's a male.
Okay.
But obviously, we have it on our website.
What is your website, by the way, so people can actually check you guys out?
It's www.nysparanormalresearch.com.
Actually, I should post that on my webpage. Anyways, yeah. So, and what can I find on your website?
Well, you're going to be able to find, we got a few EVPs on there. We got group pictures and little bios about ourselves, past investigations we've done, and future events that are coming up.
Okay. So, Brian, how did Marcus hook up with you to do this investigation at the Collinwood?
Let me see if I can remember right. I believe they contacted us first with an email, and then he followed up with a phone call.
Okay. So, and do you, I mean, let me ask you this, because you have a haunted place, do you find that you get inundated with people trying to investigate it, or, I mean, how do you deal with these different groups that would like to investigate your place?
Actually, we're still riding under the covers of a lot of these groups.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're so new to everybody that we get some emails from people. We got an investigation coming up in June. The group is called Ghost Team.
Mm-hmm.
They also do documentaries and that on the places that they go to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're coming here to do an all-night investigation and make a documentary on the Collinwood Inn.
Oh, excellent.
But usually we get emails, and then we check out the team itself first. And if they have a website, we check out their website. If they only have a Facebook page, we check out the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And we go by what we see, and if we like what we see, then we contact these groups.
Right.
Because,
I mean, nowadays there are so many different groups out there. I mean, when I started, there were like, if you went on the internet, there were probably 24 in the country, and now there's probably 24 in any city. So, yeah, it's difficult to keep, to try to find reputable groups, really.
Yeah, we just we investigate the group as much as we can to see, because we had found something out about one group that was coming that we weren't overly pleased with, and things got kind of cut off there. But that's a long sordid story. But anyways, back to the book, Marcus.
Oh yes, yeah, we do. You know how I do stray. So we were talking with Marcus Wazicki, and he contributed to this book, Ghost Hunting in the Mohawk Valley. And is it out yet?
No, it'll be out in 2012. We don't have an exact date yet, but as soon as we do, we will. We'll post it on the Facebook, our website.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're co-authors with Linda Lee Mackin from Black Cat Press, and what we did was we compiled a bunch of cases that we've done in the past, and we sent them to her, and she chose the top ones, and I guess she's going to make a paperback about it, Ghost Hunting in the Mohawk Valley. Hopefully everybody enjoys it, and definitely the Collinwood will be in it.
Do you know how many places will be in it?
I know that we gave her over 30 locations. I'm not sure because of editing issues and the size of the book, how many she'll actually put in. But I know there'll be quite a few of them.
Right. So I'm interested, of course, being from Massachusetts, and not to get away from the Collinwood Inn, Brian, but the Lizzie Borden House. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Very, very interesting location. We were lucky enough to get down there, and it was me and my partner, Connell, and one other couple stayed there, and the caretaker. So it was very empty that night. We went down there, and I stayed in the father's room, the stepfather's room, and Connell stayed in Lizzie's room. and we did do the investigation. Connell felt something grab him in the ribs at one point in the basement, and at the same time, I heard a disembodied voice say, "Hey." Obviously, we've already talked about the difference between EVPs and disembodied voice, so this would have been, I heard it with my own ears.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting enough, that place gave me such a feeling that I kind of didn't even want to stay in the room alone. We ended up staying there. It was a great time, though. Fall River, Massachusetts, great place. And it's amazing how big that city is, and they still have that original house there.
Right. Did you get to see Lizzie's, the house she moved into? I mean, I know you can't go in it because it's private residence, but I don't know if you drove by it or not, but that was interesting as well.
We didn't get a chance to check that out. We were really excited to get in there, and we went through the tour with the caretaker, and we kind of just settled in, getting ready for the night. What about you? You said you went there. How did you feel about going in there? And
it was interesting. I assume you met Leanne, right?
Yeah.
Leanne Wilbur? Yep, Leanne Wilbur, yep. Yeah, we actually have a great, we got a lot of interesting stuff from them. We've been there a few times. We've done a couple of broadcasts from there as well. Last time we were there, which was really cool, she let us listen to a phone call that she received, and the area code on it was 911, which was interesting, 911666, and then it was a number, and it was... we kind of analyzed it a little bit, and it said something like I can't remember the exact words. Oh, cool. Too many EVPs, I think. But anyways, it was something like I can't believe I'm dead. I've lost my head, or something like that. It was kind of interesting. But yeah, it's a neat place. In fact, one of the chapters in Maureen, who is a trans medium that I work with, she and I wrote a couple of books, but the first book, Ghost Chronicles, there's a chapter in it, and it kind of describes some of the things that we faced in there, and for her, more than anything, was an overwhelming hatred of me, I guess you would say, because I remember saying that she was in the kitchen, and she was looking for a hatchet, actually, to drive it in my head. So, yeah, that was kind of neat, yeah. It was an interesting place, but good. I have to say, go ahead. Definitely a location you don't want to take lightly. Go in there and be very serious. Anybody who plans on investigating the Lizzie Borden house, or any other location for that matter. And one thing I have to say is, don't take anything home with you, because you never know what could be attached to it. Well, how do you prevent them from coming home with you, Marcus? Well, I know from going in and doing investigations that I try not to disturb anything. I try not to disrespect anybody, whether it be a spirit or it be a caretaker or the house itself. And I don't take anything home with me. That's just my own personal belief. Okay. So let me ask you this, Brian, and you're still with us, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So quiet.
Oh, yeah, I'm enjoying the conversation.
I'll talk all the time, unless somebody shuts me up. You know that, don't you? So you got to jump in there. But, have you ever, been threatened at the Collinwood? Do you feel any malevolent, is that the word? Malevolent spirits at any time there?
Oh, heck no. The worst thing that ever happened here was during one investigation. There was it was open to the public. It was part of a radio station's haunted history for the month of October. The first investigation here, there was a group of people downstairs with one of the investigators, and Dr. Crockett in the basement, he was in a kind of a bad mood that night because there was people bugging him, I guess. And Dr. Crockett, he's the third owner of the house who died of a massive heart attack down in the basement. Just to give you a little history on who he is and why he was down there in the basement. Anyways, they were trying to get him to use the flashlight thing to do some talking.
Oh, yeah.
And he was doing it for a bit, and then he just, kind of like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Don't bother me. And the guy kept trying to get him, kept saying to him, okay, do one more thing, and we'll go and we'll leave you alone. And, he kept saying that, and then finally, Dr. Crockett just went over to him and gave him a smack in the back of the head.
Really?
Yeah, as if to say, I've had enough, get out of the basement now.
Huh. Wow, that's pretty kind of cool, actually. Marcus, have you ever had any physical stuff like that happen to you?
I have to say that I've been grabbed at the First Presbyterian Church, one of our earlier investigations. I was felt like I was grabbed from behind, almost to be pulled back. I felt dizzy and nauseous a few times, or felt where I needed to sit down in a location, but other than that, never had anything smack me in the back of the head. Not yet, at least. What I had to ask you was, how do you feel about some of the equipment that people use nowadays, like the Ovilus and the Frank's box, and are you for or against that?
As far as what, equipment? I am totally open to everything as far as for paranormal investigating. It's a totally unknown field. It is the unknown. It's not the normal. It's the paranormal. We don't know what's going to work and what's not work. And if we believe that spirits can manipulate things, then they can manipulate virtually anything. I mean, if you use trigger objects like glasses of whiskey or toys or whatever, and they can manipulate it, why couldn't they manipulate electronic device? When Ghost Radar came out, for instance, and I laughed at it, because I'm sure the science wasn't very good at that, but yet I thought the same thing. I says, well, you know what? If they can manipulate other things, why couldn't they manipulate it? So, I mean, we use virtually everything. And in fact, speaking about Ghost Radar, I have a paranormal study group that meets once a month at the Circles of Wisdom in Andover. In fact, next Tuesday we're meeting, but we took the Ghost Radar, and there was a murder case that happened here in Massachusetts, New Hampshire actually, and we just had a newspaper article, not too much information, and this was when the case first broke, when they found the body of a little boy, and we just all concentrated on it, and we let the Ghost Radar run, and yet we recorded, of course, all the words that was said. And then a month later when we met, of course, the case had broken and everything else. And of all the lists, the big list, there was a lot of words that were directly associated with the case. I mean, there was some of them you could definitely make fit. But, for instance, the name of the lawyer came up, the state they were from. There was a lot of really specific information to the case. So, does that make that as a great piece of evidence that it's definitely good? No, but it's certainly interesting to play with. So, yeah, we'll try anything. It's like the flashlight thing. I'm not really big on the flashlight thing. I haven't really seen it work really good, except one time at the Rose Island Lighthouse, and where we're getting quick, direct answers to our questions. So I'm up in the air on that one, whether it works. But yeah, you try whatever you want. I mean, it's totally open. So yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, there was one investigation that you ever see a pen box, and I'm probably saying this wrong, as Maureen's not here to correct me. It's basically a thing that has all like little plastic pens on it. You can put on your face if you do it, shows the profile of your face.
Yeah, or you put it on your hand, it'll mold. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. So you saw that, right? So years ago, we were doing an investigation in this house, and I had to get a black light. I use a black light to rule out dust particles and stuff for when you're getting orbs and stuff. So, but anyway, so my wife had bought me this black light, and it came with this silly pen box. So we did an investigation at this house, and we set up some equipment for the night, and we just let it run. And we locked it all up in the house, and I said, okay, I'm going to put this pen box here, and nothing to lose. So let's see what happens. So we left the house. Next day, we got back with the owner, and as we reached the kitchen, we could hear a high whining noise, like a high-pitched noise. You couldn't go through the kitchen door because it was swollen tight. You couldn't go, so we had to go through the bulkhead down and through the upstairs. And as we reached the kitchen, the noise stopped. And we came in there, and I just, ran into the kitchen, and I wanted this, oh, wow, I'm going to see this face in this pen box, because that's, your high hopes. But anyways, I did run up to the pen box, and sure enough, it didn't have a face or a hand or anything, but there was 5 of the pens in different locations on there that were actually pushed all the way out. So it was not like a little mouse could climb up and push them out. It was very unique. So, was that proof of the paranormal? But no, but it certainly was interesting, and, there was no logical explanation for it, no matter what we thought. So, yeah, you can use anything, and it's not a bad idea to try different things.
No, I've used, in a residence, we used the Ghost Radar app, and it kind of coincided with some of the responses from the Ovilus as well. So I have to agree with saying that it is interesting that an app on a phone would be able to, like you said, the spirits would be able to manipulate anything, so why not the app on the phone?
Right. So, Brian,
I was asking you... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, no, go. Cool.
No, I was asking you during the break. I had gotten a Chris Balzano book, Picture Yourself Ghost Hunting, and it came with a video, and I thought I had seen you on that video, and I wondered if that was true.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's an interesting video. Our search for the puckwudgies in the Freetown State Forest, and that's when Maureen, who's a trance medium, actually, trans-channeled one of these creatures or something anyways, and I actually had to tackle her and throw it to the ground, throwing a fill nut. She dislocated my finger that day. It actually happened twice. But it was interesting because we were going through this forest, and we had a thermal imager with us, and we kept, sensing that something was following us, and we'd see this dark shadow in the woods all the time. And so finally it was one point, and I was ahead of the group, but there was one point when Thermal Dan said, Ron, you got to get back here. And what had happened, this dark shadow had stopped, and it was stationary there, and then all of a sudden it just started to form in like a face, almost like this screen face, from that face, and it got larger and larger, and it came closer and closer, and then finally Maureen got possessed or trans-channeled, whatever the creature was. So it's interesting stuff. Yeah, it was. It was definitely an interesting video. Yeah, for those who don't know what a trance channel is, that's basically the Whoopi Goldberg character in Ghost. And I worked with Maureen for many years. I didn't even believe in mediums and anything, but until I met her. And I found out there are many spirits out there that don't like me, and they finally have a body to get back at me at times. And we've had some interesting combat, I guess you would say. So, anyway, that was me. Okay. I can't believe that's the pizza. It's here. No, that's a 2-minute warning. We're about out of time. Can you believe that, Brian?
No, I can't. That was too quick.
Yeah, I know. It's because I talk too much. That's my problem.
Are you trying to say you get verbal diarrhea once in a while?
Are you trying to say? I am saying. I go on and on. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But anyways, Marcus, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show. You were awesome. we wish you best of luck ghost hunting, and if we do ever go to the Collinwood Mansion, and that's really our goal, we really want to get down there. Ann and I both do, and so next year in 2012, that's our goal to get down there. So hopefully maybe we'll meet you there or something.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ron, for having me on. Thank you, Brian. It was a pleasure as always.
And good luck. Good luck with the book.
Sorry.
Good luck with the book.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll definitely be posting it as soon as we get a definite date. I just want to say thank you to Brian, Linda Lee Mackin, and the Collinwood is definitely a location any paranormal investigator or ghost hunter would like to visit. But plan on having a lengthy sit-down with Brian and Jerry before you're able to get the go-ahead.
You think they'll get a word in with me? All right, Bacchus, thank you so much. And have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yep,
you too,
bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Well, Brian, I kind of blew that show, didn't I? Huh?
No, not at all.
Running
not
off the mouth. Anyway, anything you'd like to add before we run out? We got about 15, 20 seconds or so.
The only thing I'd like to add was that it was an extremely great pleasure to do this with you today, and maybe sometime in the future if you ever need somebody to fill in again.
Oh, sure. I actually like to do a show on Dark Shadows. Maybe we can get some of them characters from the show on, or go into it a little bit more, or do a kind of a twisty thing on it. But I definitely would love to do anything. So, Brian, I want to thank you so much for helping me out here, and once again, Merry Christmas to you and the Collinwood Inn, and we will get down here, I promise you.
Okay, thank you, and a Merry Christmas to you, and doors always open for you to come down and do your investigation.
We'll leave the light on, right?
That's right.
All right, good night, everyone. Good night. See you next year.
From ghoulies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bumpy in the breeze. Deliver us, O God.